Shamans and charlatans, seers and diviners, and renegade witches. Wow, today we are going on one. Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, we're going to talk once again about the Intelligencia, the spiritual development organization set up by Chief Amachi. Today we're going to try and answer one vital question. Was the forces that Chief Amachi was trying to capitalize on and harness, did they have anything to do with his untimely death? This question will inevitably bring up other questions, so we're just going to go straight into it. First, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, and click the bell notification. Now, I had a number of emails from people asking me, where are we going with this? Bear with me, guys. It's coming. The last time we spoke about the Intelligencia, we spoke more about ES's involvement in the Intelligencia, why she was kicked out and so forth. We spoke, in regards to Chief Amachi, we spoke about how, but we didn't really go into why he actually set up the Intelligencia. The why is quite convoluted, but in order to get a firm grip on why he would have set up this organization, we need to go back into Chief Amachi's life. We need to go back to the point in which he wasn't Chief Amachi. Yes, we're going to go way back to the point in which he was just known as Ronald Glenn Humphrey II. So Ronald Glenn Humphrey II, he was a professional MMA fighter, but before he turned pro, he was just amateur. So that's it. What he was doing, he was running around the amateur scenes, trying to make a buck here and a buck there. He was also an actor as well, so he played a lot of parts as an extra in many TV films. He had dreams to make it big, and like most people do, definitely like most actors do. He went to the Tuskegee Institute, a world-renowned college, and he was well educated. Despite the accolades in his education, he wanted to have what everybody else had in America. He wanted to live the American dream. In 2009, he got that chance. He became a professional fighter, and he fought professionally for 7 years, which is a pretty long time, really. But I mean, in 2009, he would have already have been past his 30s. So he wasn't going to have a long career in fighting. Now, he, of course, is not stupid. He knows that he's going to need something in order to raise his own profile after he had finished fighting. Ronald, again, got lucky as he was casted to appear in the movie The Black Panther. Black Panther started filming back in 2015, and Humphrey actually retired from MMA fighting in 2016, just a short while after he'd finished filming Black Panther. So you've got to imagine there's a steep cliff that he is looking at. He can see that he really doesn't have a huge choice in terms of forwarding his career. He wanted to be an actor, but when he got involved in Black Panther, something sparked something inside him. He developed an overwhelming love for Africa. He already had been there before the Black Panther movie, but it was the Black Panther movie that got him involved, got him interested in African spirituality and the spirit world. So he travelled back to Africa, travelled to northern Ghana, and he met up with the Mami Wata sect. This is the people who taught him his trade as a diviner. Tambo Elder was the person that taught him, and if he was teaching him right and correctly, he would have taught him a few vital rules to being a diviner. He found his calling. He was in the perfect place, doing the thing that he loved. He was learning and he was healing. He was doing everything he wanted to do, and he was getting paid for it. So Chief And the now Chief Amachi went back to the United States and he set up his school for diviners, the Intelligencia. Now, Chief Amachi was just not some other diviner looking to make a quick buck. This guy really believed in the magic that he had harnessed for himself. He believed that he could teach people how to capture and use the power of the ancestors. The Intelligencia was extremely profitable and it was very successful. ES was one of his earliest students. So people knew him. He was Hollywood famous, he was famous on the fight scene, but he wanted to become famous and just as successful in the African spiritualism realm. He knew he had competition all over the United States, especially where he was planning to set up down there in Atlanta. I mean, this is a hub for these types of sects and organizations. So he did something which was going to set him apart, something which many people would think and believe ultimately cost him his life. Take a look at this.
Chief Amachi, who went to Africa to be initiated into the Mamawata religion, but he was already in it, died, and allegedly of malaria. When people are doing wrong, that the ancestors would take them out. First of all, they said he died of malaria, going to Africa, right? But how are you going to die from malaria when you can't leave the United States unless you receive the proper immunizations to leave America? Well, that is because he was injected with something before he left. And how could the ancestors protect him if he's a part of a crooked crew of people? And you up there bamboozling your own people, then damn it, the ancestors gonna come back and whoop your ass. You see, the ancestors took that big melanated brother up out of here for a reason. And I'm speaking harshly because there's a part of him that he was good for the community, but there was a back end to him that he wasn't good for the community.
So what exactly was the wayward renegade witch? What was she talking about? What was she accusing him of? Well, in that video, you could see that she accused Chief Amachi of practicing the mixing both voodoo and hoodoo, two opposing parts of African spiritualism, and concocting a powerful, potent cocktail of sorcery that could be used to do some rather bad things. I could see where Chief Amachi was going with this actually, because he knew that the power of the hoodoo was extremely strong. So people would come from far and wide to come and see him and come see his students. And students would come from far and wide in order to get taught by him, because they would see tangible effects of his sorcery. But mixing voodoo and hoodoo, okay, and I do say voodoo as in voodoo, not voodoo, okay, because I know now, after doing the research, that voodoo and voodoo is the exact same thing, just said in different languages, okay. So the mixing of these two African spiritual entities is extremely dangerous. Not only that, but he was trying to profit off it. He was trying to make money off it. These are very powerful gods that he was playing with. I mean, these are powerful entities that he was trying to make a quick buck out of. And essentially, he went back to Africa to see his teacher and to go back to the Mamawata sect to be initiated. And 7 days after he got back to the United States, he was dead. Here's an explanation on why hoodoo is dangerous.
Let's talk about hoodoo and voodoo. Hoodoo is different than voodoo. Hoodoo is an ancestrally based practice. It's a result of the transatlantic slave trade. It is African American folk magic. You have to understand that hoodoo came from a culture of survival. The people who were stolen from their country, stolen from their homes and brought over here, held tightly on to their spiritual practice. That was the only thing that they owned. Hoodoo is not something that was widely shared, and to this day there's a lot of information that's kept hidden. A lot of the ways I practice, that a lot of hoodoo practitioners practice, is secret. You drop things in secret locations, you work at night so no one sees that you're working. You could be working right in front of someone's face, and you have to be able to keep that from them. You don't want people stealing your power by seeing it. Hoodoo relies a lot on our ancestors. It's a powerful practice because we remember those who've come before us, those who were the trailblazers, those who are the foundation on which we stand, the blood, sweat, and the tears that were sacrificed for our very existence. That's what hoodoo truly is, and that's where the power truly comes from. Your relationship with your living relatives and your relationship with your ancestors keeps your back straight and keeps you strong like they were strong to survive. Try to make the difference between hoodoo and voodoo. You want to really know what you're looking at. Voodoo is not hoodoo.
As you can see, it calls spirits without discretion. You don't know who these spirits are. You don't know what they were. You don't know where they've come from. All you know is that they can do and perform a particular job. You don't know whether you can trust them or not because you can't fully control them. Now, I suppose this brings us to another question. Did ES know about this? Did she have some sort of premonition? Did she know that the bad side of hoodoo and voodoo being mixed together, did she know that this was extremely dangerous and thought, well, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm going to find a way out. I mean, the easiest way out of the school would have been to essentially have broken one of the main rules. And one of the main rules is to do exactly what your teacher tells you to do. And that's exactly what she didn't do. Quite purposefully, it sounds like. Was she smart? Did she just say, well, I'm not dealing with this, I'm going to go with my spirit? Was it her spirit guides that actually saved her life? These are all good questions, but I'm afraid they're questions that only ES can answer. Initially, this was why I was worried about ES. I know she's a big girl, but, you know, these Dangomba people, these people that she is developing this relationship with, this deep relationship with, who the place where she's building this Bonsu micro village, they're no slouches. They're not sort of just, you know, another bunch of cowboys who have so-called magic powers. These guys are the real deal. They are very, very powerful and have a lot of African spiritual real estate behind them. They are not the types of people you need to be messing with if you are just a novice diviner. Okay, so what do you guys think? Do you think that Chief Amachi passed away because of what he was doing with these powers? Do you think that ES truly has these powers of foresight and saw it come in and acted first? Let me know in the comments section below. It would be really good to hear from you. That's all I've got time for today. I've got some other videos coming up a little later actually, so I might post twice, possibly even 3 times today, Christmas Day. So if you're at home, chilling, relaxing, opening your presents, then enjoy your time. I don't celebrate Christmas, so but if you are enjoying it, then enjoy. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Until the next time, think twice. Ta-ra a bit.